Hello and welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast. I'm Mark Storrs, and with me, as always, is
Scads Dankins.
Wow.
Scads Dankins.
I fucking love that, by the way.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, and
Thanks.
Rob Morphy.
thank you all so very much for joining us. We are in the midst. The mist or midst.
Midst.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
Whatever.
we're in the
Yeah, no, we're
mist.
not in the hazy fog or vaporous fucking
The old
cloud.
ones have come back?
Or maybe it is because of the coronavirus.
Oh, yeah. Gee,
I'm
Lord
bringing. You know what
in
I'm
heaven.
bringing it. You know what I'm doing right now? Staying topical and staying current and staying new.
That's why the kids love you.
I do. Because we're
Yeah.
currently in a hysterical fucking state right now as a people. But we're here to tell you, wash your hands.
Yeah,
Or you're just going to get it and you'll get over it.
for the most part.
Yeah,
we're all gonna
hopefully.
die.
Or we're all going to die.
And guess what? Eventually, that's the outcome anyway. I do not
Yeah.
think this is going to be a stand-esque global pandemic that will slaughter billions. I hope not anyway. I'm not trying to jinx it here, but I think I'm just going to continue on. And,
no,
you know,
listen. If you're elderly
yeah.
or you have the compromised like
Sure.
possibly me,
Yeah.
Chris.
No, I worry about Chris
just
a
keep
little.
a slightly wary eye on what's happening.
Vigilance
Yes.
Yeah, wash your hands.
and
Apparently,
hygiene.
You can't touch your face.
I touch my face all the time. I
know, me
stroke
too.
my beard habitually.
Yeah, I
know.
punch myself in the face
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
every couple minutes.
Yeah, so
It's a
wash your
reality
hands.
check.
Wash your hands. Don't punch yourself in the face, and also don't touch your face.
I can't not.
And just be smart about it.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Cut down on ass to mouth. That's going to be a problem. Not because of coronavirus, just in general.
I was trying to
I
figure
don't
out how
know,
to
man.
correlate
Like-
this to coronavirus, but
No,
okay.
I'm just saying that's a good life recommendation.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's your style, that's cool, but don't shame other people if they're into it. That's kind of fucked up on your
listen,
part.
I didn't say that. I was shaming them. I was just suggesting maybe just calm your jets a little
Simmer
bit.
down a little.
Cool.
I think
Okay.
maybe we should stick to wash your hands
Okay.
and don't freak out, and just everything's going to be okay. And if not, you know what? We're all going down together. If not,
True that.
it's cool. We'll be in a bunker podcasting.
It's going to be a fucking tailgate party at Heaven's Gate. And/or the Dark Lord below will be greeting us all with open, scaly arms.
Yeah, so there
Or
you
maybe
go.
rippling red. I don't know. I mean, I've seen some medieval paintings where he's covered in scales, so maybe I was just jumping on there. We don't know.
All right.
Probably
Yeah.
octopod-like appendages.
All right. Well, and so
Maybe.
you know what? South by Southwest just got canceled. Emerald City Comic Con got canceled, which fucks me out of some pop things that I was looking forward to doing. But whatever. But you know what? That's a
Yeah.
good thing because you take the fucking precaution.
Yeah, safety
Do what
first,
you gotta do.
motherfucker,
That's
as
right.
is the protocol.
And if you're on a boat right now and you're stuck off the coast of California because 19 people on there have it and you're kind of fucked, it's okay. You're going to get off.
Yeah,
And you're
you
going to
are.
be fine. You're going to be
and
good.
enjoy the ocean while you're out there.
Yeah,
Do some
exactly.
fishing. Get
There
some
you go.
sun.
Fish.
Moral of the story is wash your hands, don't touch your face, and don't freak the fuck out. But keep posting those memes on our Facebook group because I sure do appreciate them.
Yes, you do.
Hellerspace.com. Check that out to get your merch. There's a sale every month. We'll post that up when that's going to happen. So check that out there. Patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. $1 is a shout out. $5 is a shout out and some bonus audio. We have some shout outs to do, boys. Are we
I
ready?
cannot wait.
Nessie.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
shit.
best.
That's it.
Simply the
all
best.
right.
Nessie.
That's OG.
Wampa Builds.
Oh, wow.
Wampa Builds. Check
I
it
like
out.
it.
There you go. Chandler.
Chandler.
Thank
Excellent.
you, Chandler.
All right. Randy Hardenbrook.
Randy.
I almost called you Ryan. I fixed it. You're Randy. You're not Ryan.
It's true.
All right.
He probably knows better than any of us.
Wow.
And thank
All
you,
right.
Randy.
Maxime.
Maxime.
Yes. All right. And this is a second shout out
Okay.
because this guy got shouted out for his YouTube contributions and he buys all the merch. I'm talking about our boy B-Dang.
B-Dang.
Now, I believe last episode I may have said it was AKA Megalodong.
Yes.
It was Megadong.
Oh, just mega
Not
dumb.
Megalaw.
Oh, you made a dinosaur out of it?
I did. Yeah.
I got to say, I didn't mind the mistake, but all right, let's be legit.
All right.
It's Megadong.
Megadong, a.k.a. B-Dang. What up, YouTube dude? Thank you so very much. Continuing on.
I am going to steal Megalodon, though.
You kind of have to. It's
I
great.
can't just be
Oh,
lying
yeah.
out there
Yeah.
unused.
No.
That's a species.
Next we have Rick Goltieri.
Goltieri.
If we fucked your name up, Rick, let us know.
Yeah, you'll get
Okay.
a double shout.
There
Thank you,
go.
Rick.
And closing it out here, we have Michael McAvoy.
Nice.
There it is.
Perfect.
So there are our Patreon shout-outs for this episode.
Thank you
y'all.
all so much. Everyone that supports us on Patreon, and of course everyone that buys a t-shirt or any of the swag, you guys are the effing best. Thank you.
This week's episode, I've been actually wanting to do this for quite some time.
Yeah, you've been bringing it up literally since word go.
This is a fun one, and this comes from the wonderful world of West Virginia.
It does.
Which is a
second only
favorite.
maybe to Ohio
Yeah.
for, well, maybe even tops in terms of the weirdest of shit that goes on in the paranormal world.
So this week we're talking about the headless horror of Grafton. In the same year that the now legendary Mothman and its paranormal brethren swooped down to terrorize the citizens of Point Pleasant, the state of West Virginia played host to an equally unnerving, if much more obscure, cryptozoological phenomena that reared its staggeringly bulky yet remarkably headless form, triggering a region-wide monster frenzy that almost inexplicably remained all but forgotten until it was rediscovered at the tail end of the 20th century.
Facts.
Chicken.
Yo, it's facts and chicken.
There it is, facts and chicken. We're going to West Virginia. We're talking
Chicken.
the headless horror of Grafton. And real quick, I'm just going to say this on Fallout 76. These things are a cocksucker.
I believe that.
I don't like fighting them. They're a pain in the ass. There's some new Fallout 76 shit happening in April. We got NPCs. We got a storyline. Shit's going down, Rob.
You are
Are
wasting
you excited?
all of that information on me. Am I excited for
too.
people that enjoy it? Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you, because I was very disappointed in this game.
Not anymore?
I pre-ordered the fucker and paid by full fucking price.
Well, sure. I mean, you're a gamer and a crypto aficionado.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get mine. What's
Right.
going to happen? Robert, bring us to the wonderful world of West Virginia.
You got it.
Thank you.
West Virginia has more than its fair share of bizarre beings and anomalous animals. From Flatwoods Monster and Mothman to Wampus Cats and Sheep Squatch.
Fan fave sheep
The
squad.
beloved. I know, all great. But one of the weirdest has got to be the hulking monstrosity that was seen in 1964 just over 150 miles east of Point Pleasant in the small, isolated community of Grafton, West Virginia. Situated near the Tygart Valley River and bordered by dense forests, rolling hills, and lush acres of verdant farmland, the city now known as Grafton was established in 1856 as a convergence point for the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, made famous on monopoly boards the world over as the B&O Railroad, my favorite,
Cool.
obviously, body odor, and in its prime was considered to be both an affluent mining center and a railroad boomtown that was essential to the regional coal industry.
That's a great little piece
Wow.
of history.
It's a hub.
It's a hub.
It is
Yeah.
an active hub.
Yeah, in West Virginia.
Yeah. Doesn't remain that way. No.
No, clearly.
Never
it doesn't.
does.
Never does.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
No.
Grafton continued to prosper, peaking to a population of 8,517 citizens in 1920. But, as is so often the case, the boom eventually went bust in the 1950s when many of Grafton's plants and factories closed down, and by the time the 1960s had arrived, less than 5,800 souls remained.
It's all those goddamn
So
long hair
owls.
hippies and their sandals.
I
And
don't
their
think in
smoking marijuana cigarettes.
Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that was a
fucking
problem in Grafton,
I don't
West
know, man.
Virginia.
patchouli.
And I
Yeah.
certainly don't think it resulted in the closing of industry.
Saying, dude, this is what
All right, so
happens.
yeah, fine. The hippies are to blame.
They moved in and they're like, oh, dude, fucking smoking dubs, bro. Coal's bad. And then fucking everyone left.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
You
Coal
have
is
no
bad.
idea
Dude,
of
coal's
chronology,
bad.
do you, man?
Whatever, man.
Two sandals.
Dude.
Okay.
Cole's bad sandals.
That's their best hippie impression, I
Oh my
guess.
God, that's a
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
So dumb. But I would wear it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's true.
Well
yeah.
done, Chris.
Yeah. Coal's bad.
You're
sandals.
welcome, fuckers.
This population consisted of various women, men, and children, and for an extraordinarily brief episode in 1964, one exceptionally large and totally bizarre beast.
I was wondering why you were talking about women and men and children. I was like, what is there?
'Cause we're
squirrels
talking
there
about the
too?
population.
And then you brought it, and I like it. There's a totally bizarre beast.
Totally.
I'm there, dude.
I'm glad.
All right.
Known by several names, including the Grafton Monster, the Beast of Grafton, and my personal favorite, the Headless Horror of Grafton, sometimes also known as the Headless Horror of Riverside Drive, which is kind of fucking
Kind of
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. The existence of this utterly unique entity languished in the scrapbooks and waning memories of the few remaining residents who could recall the massive uproar caused by the thing's swift yet memorable appearance. In fact, the only evidence that these events transpired at all was a pair of yellowed news clippings consigned to a nearly forgotten file that was tucked away in the back room of a local library. That would be until a dedicated Fortean researcher managed to unearth the account in the mid-90s.
So this isn't like super duper new, but it was discovered like 30 years later in the 90s.
It was definitely rediscovered. Like, it did not get the fanfare, obviously, of Flatwoods or Mothman or any of the other big monster flaps that happened
This is
around the
weird
United
because
States.
it's literally in the same area. Like, it's right.
Yeah,
West Virginia's not
Well,
big at
yeah.
all. Like, you would think that they would just lump it in, but all right, cool.
And it did get lumped in by some people, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but it
Right.
just did not catch fire in the same way
Cool.
for whatever reason.
Sweet.
The researcher was the sorely missed author and cryptozoologist Mark A. Hall. He passed away in 2016. He did a lot of great work in memoriam.
R.I.P. Mark Hall.
Yeah. Who in 1995 found himself in West Virginia's Clarkburg Harrison Public Library, surrounded by the vast stacks of books, magazines, photos, and most intriguingly, unpublished files that made up the official archives of one of West Virginia's most notorious natives, paranormal chronicler and investigator Gray Barker.
Oh, our good friend Gray Barker. He's popped up a couple of times in our
Absolutely,
podcast.
and I'll be mentioning it
Yeah.
now.
All right.
Barker, among his many exploits, was the author of over 300 books and magazine articles about everything from mysterious monsters to anomalous alien encounters. Presciently, he noted the possible connection between the tragic Silver Bridge collapse and the sinister supernatural come cryptozoological critter known as the Mothman in his 1970 book, The Silver Bridge, which presaged John Keel's much better known The Mothman Prophecies by nearly half a decade.
Talking old school here.
This dude was the
Going
first to bring that shit to the
back.
forefront.
All right.
Indisputably, Barker's most significant contribution to Fortean lore came in the form of his 1956 book, They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers,
Dun, dun, dun.
Cryptic as fuck.
Yeah, that's awful.
which for the first time introduced to the masses the equally fascinating and frightening concept of the often treacherous Men in Black.
The old MIBs.
So we owe
Nice.
MIBs, at least
Yeah.
the initial idea, to Gray Barker.
What up, Gray Barker?
And the name technically to John Keel, because I think he coined the phrase,
Right.
but it was Barker that introduced the concept worldwide.
Get those books. Jump on Amazon, grab them books. They're all awesome, and support these guys.
Yeah, well, they're dead, but,
yeah, but still,
I mean, support their
the
heirs.
work. Yeah, support the work.
Yeah, definitely.
They have estates and families and shit. Give them a couple bucks.
Surely. His contributions were not limited to the written page, as Barker was one of the first investigators on the scene along with Ivan T. Sanderson,
Oh, nice.
following the now celebrated Flatwoods Monster incident, and he was also responsible for introducing the world at large to the insidious and evidently alien exsanguinator known as the Vegetable Man.
Oh, no.
Classic.
Love that dude.
Classic Kryptonaut. Not sure what episode that is, but check it out.
Indeed.
It's there. I think it's in the first 15, maybe.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
early.
know.
It's early. Yeah,
It's
super
one of our
early.
faves.
It is good.
While rifling through the reams of unpublished articles and investigation notes which Barker had created over the years but had never gotten around to printing, Hall stumbled across a pair of odd clippings that contained a fascinating first-hand account written by journalist and eyewitness Robert Cockrell regarding a nighttime sighting on June 16, 1964 that had left him both frightened and flummoxed.
Flummoxed.
That's a combo. But that wasn't all. Hall also discovered pages of never-before-seen correspondence between the young reporter and Gray Barker, which revealed information that had previously been cut out of the original articles by what many regarded to have been an unsympathetic newspaper editor at the Grafton Sentinel.
Fucking media twisting the shit to the narrative that they want.
Always.
That's how they fucking control you.
Every time. Hall also unearthed an early unpublished draft of an article based on Cockrell's account that Barker had planned to sell to an unidentified UFO magazine. So without further ado, here is the most complete version of the encounter available, which Hall managed to assemble at the Gray Barker collection nearly quarter of a century ago.
All right.
Dope.
On the night of June 16th, 1964, an up-and-coming reporter, the aforementioned Robert Cockrell, tidied up his desk at the tiny Grafton Sentinel newspaper and got ready to head home. The evening shift, if possible, was even more uneventful than the day shift, but as the 20-something reporter climbed into his car for the ride home, he surely knew that paying your dues was part of the process. What he did not know and could not possibly imagine was that his life was about to make a dramatic turn toward the bizarre, and with it, the sleepy lives of many of his fellow small-town citizens. Things about to go sideways up in this piece.
All right.
At approximately 11 p.m., Cockrell was cruising northbound at about 40 miles per hour on the familiar stretch of road between routes 119 and 50, along what is known as Riverside Drive in the west end of Grafton, when he slowed into a wide turn. It was at that moment that his headlights caught sight of one of the most anomalous apparitions on record. This is how Cockrell described the scene to Barker. "I know the road well. The night was clear. As I glanced up, my high beams picked up a huge white obstruction on the right side of the road, standing between the road and the riverbank on a cleared section of grass."
Dun, dun, dun. What is it?
It's the headless horror of Grafton.
You know, it's,
Build suspense.
I'm sorry.
no, I mean,
we
the
know
title
that.
of this is
We knew.
Headless Horror.
Actually, it wasn't. An albino deer.
Whatever.
He's stupid. The horror is coming
Yeah,
up.
no,
like, in
it was a
minute.
cloud hamster.
It was a cloud hamster.
Oh my god, that's my
Oh.
new favorite thing.
Yeah.
That never was a thing until Chris just said it.
Totally be an anime.
Pokemon.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh, there's Pokemon.
Cloudster.
Dude, I feel that Chris and I are inching ever closer to our lives in Japan.
All right, fine.
Yeah, but Mark does have something to do with it because Charlie.
Because
clear-
Charlie is there.
I will eventually be there. You know, we're going to talk about that when we get there. Headless Horror of Grafton. Where are we now?
Indeed.
What's happening?
Standing in the clearing before him was a living creature quite unlike any that had ever been seen in West Virginia, or anywhere else for that matter. Cockrell continued. After glimpsing the thing, my impressions of the beast were, it was between 7 and 9 feet tall, approximately 4 feet wide.
It's a big bastard.
That is
Wow.
fucking
4 feet
thick.
wide.
That is like Todd McFarlane Hulk big.
Yeah, I think so.
like
Yeah.
just fucking horizontal as shit.
It's like a fridge. Yeah.
Yeah. And has a seal-like skin or covering, which had a sheen to it. It had no discernible head and did not move as I passed by.
It's creepy.
All right, so
It's just
7 to 9
a
feet
bulky
tall.
nothing.
A bulky,
Yeah.
slick or sheened,
Yeah,
seal
whatever
skin,
sheened.
white, bipedal, fuck all.
Just standing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Just not moving.
Just doing its thing.
It's all like Silent Hill looking and shit, just like frozen.
how
It's all
amazing
fucked
would
Not
it
even
up.
because it's not twitching.
If
It's
it-
just
yeah,
like
I know. If it
frozen.
was twitching, it would definitely be silent. If that thing froze like in an animalistic effort not to fucking be seen,
You can't see me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm gigantic.
9x4 fucking
Yeah.
colossus.
Literally bigger than his car, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Without hesitation, Cockrell lifted his foot off the brake pedal and immediately jammed onto the accelerator, speeding out of the turn before the mammoth monstrosity could lunge into the road and impede his progress. He had no doubt that a creature of such colossal proportions would have no trouble either stopping his vehicle or tearing off the door if it so chose.
Yeah, that thing will definitely fuck you up with that size.
Oh yeah.
It's a
I mean, if that
big-
thing is aggressive, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're done.
Cockrell sped away from the scene, squealed into his driveway, leapt out of his car, and raced into the house with all the alacrity of a child convinced that an unfathomable fiend was hot on his heels. Once inside, the breathless young reporter locked the door, poured himself a stiff drink, and collapsed on his couch, hands quaking, wondering what the hell it was he'd just seen, and more pressingly, what was he going to do about it?
You gotta get a couple
Gotta have
shots
that-
down.
It's 64. A stiff drink is the cure for almost
And then you
every
gotta-
Always.
anxiety-based symptom.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of still is, but then you got to figure out what's my next move. And he's already a reporter at the local paper.
So he knows
He knows the deal. You
But-
got to go to the press.
you got to deal with this shit.
All right. Where do we go?
After 20 minutes, the booze had the desired effect of calming his nerves, and Cockrell found that he was able to think more clearly. As a dedicated journalist, he knew that he would have to go back and find out exactly what it was that he had seen. But as a sane man who harbored no kind of death wish, he knew damn well that he wasn't about to go there alone.
Yeah, you need a posse.
You
know
need a
what
posse.
a
That's,
mon-
there are certain, situations, like in the Wild West, when somebody's done your woman wrong or burned down your house, you need a posse.
Okay.
In 1964 in Grafton, West Virginia,
Yep.
when you see a fucking unfathomably wide fucking thing, you need some buddies.
I think you might need a good old-fashioned monster hunt
Oh,
with the carnival.
maybe you're predicting the future,
Yeah,
my
maybe
friend.
some accoutrement.
Oh,
Yeah, some cotton candy, some rides, guns for the kids. Yeah.
guns for the kids.
Arm the children.
Always the best.
They're the future.
No, it's the key to fun.
Arm the kids. They're the future.
Okay.
Being just before midnight, Cockrell knew that most of his buddies would be asleep, but out of sheer desperation, he managed to convince two friends, Jim Morse and Jerry Mauser, to abandon their slumber and head out into the darkness to help him find what could only be categorized as a monster. Armed only with flashlights and the moxie of youth, the trio arrived at the silent, pitch-black bend in the road. Although there was no trace of the bulky behemoth, they noticed that where Cockrell had seen the evidently headless creature, the grass and thick scrub had been crushed by something extremely heavy.
I love that they're going out there with just their moxie and flashlights. Like,
Moxie.
we don't own no weapons, so fuck it. We got flashlights.
They
and you know what
probably
we got?
own weapons, but
we got
you know
bravery.
what? This is a scouting expedition. They're out there just to scope the scene. They're not out there to kill and
Right.
maim.
They're not like, oh, imminent danger. They're just looking.
It was the 60s. Everybody was armed in West Virginia. To this day, they still are. I'm just saying.
In all fairness, that's why I'm saying that they probably had access to weapons.
Borrow
Like
a
what you
gun.
said. They went out there to just know.
Yeah, they chose not to for
They were
once,
hunters
Mark.
of knowledge this night, sir.
They weren't.
They chose peace.
Wow.
Really?
Why can't you for once?
Yeah, whatever.
Just once, Mark.
Anyway, borrow a gun, call a friend.
Construction Smurf hates peace. Construction Smurf.
My hat is very comfortable. Thank you, good
It
sir.
is riding kind of high. You got some Jacques Cousteau action going on.
Yeah, because my ears are fucking sweating because my hair is crazy. That's
So why don't you take your fucking hat off? Because you have thick, lustrous locks of fucking
whatever
Fabio hair now.
No, it's John Parr.
I'm sorry, John
Yeah,
Parr hair.
all right. Anyway,
It's not as bad because your hair was on. Now it's just.
Yeah, now it's crappy. I know.
Why
It's
don't you
fine.
part it in the middle and just...
Because I look stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
then
I do.
For my benefit, you
Post
could.
rehab Scott Stapp.
Oh, my God.
All right, enough. Arm the children. Find your friend.
Fight the
Get a
future.
drink. Fight the future.
Win the day.
Determined, my friend.
Determined.
To find their colossal quarry, the intrepid triad made their way down to the muddy banks of the Tygart River, searching for any sign of the pale, glistening-skinned bipedal brute. It's unknown if Mauser and Morse genuinely believed Cockrell's account, or if they were only there to show support for their friend. Perhaps the whole thing was merely a lark, but if that was the case, it would change the moment they heard a low, nearly subsonic whistle emanate from the night-obscured waters.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Subsonic.
Something's a whistling whistle.
All three, who were sage enough to ignore Scooby-Doo protocols and stick together, testified that no matter what direction they traveled along the river, this deep whistling noise followed them. The unnerving sound eventually proved too much, and the friends beat a hasty retreat to their vehicles, convinced that it was the voyeuristic vermin making these odd noises.
The voyeuristic vermin.
You like that?
I do.
The following morning, Cockrell went into work, and in a show of what can only be identified as journalistic integrity bolstered by raw courage, the young reporter filed the story of what he and his friends had experienced the previous eve. The Grafton Sentinel editor was, to say the least, not impressed with his employee's story.
No,
Yeah, I assume we probably wouldn't be.
when you're the boss and your young reporter's like, hey, I got some news for you. And then he tells you just like, he has a drinking problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, great. He's drunk.
You know, that's all good and well, but as a former fucking small town reporter, I can say one thing. Most editors are just absolutely hungry to fill the pages with anything of interest.
Yeah.
Small town papers have a huge problem. As the editors told me from Charles Itzen, the first editor I worked under at the Auburn Citizen way back in the 90s, he told me two things that always stuck with me. One, working for the Citizen means never having to say you're sorry, which was great.
Oh my God.
But secondly, and more importantly, that it's basically old people who want to see what their grandkids did in sports, what functions are going on around town.
Yeah, that's it.
And occasionally, if a real thing pops up, we hammer it into the ground.
Yeah.
And that is really the protocols for most small town papers. So you would think, by and large, even though I don't know the name or anything about the background of this particular editor, that a weird story like this would have them chomping at the bit to exploit it. But we're going to discuss some reasons why
It's credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Back
a reason
then,
why the
especially.
credibility is tested. And Chris is right. You know, this is mid-'60s.
Yeah.
It's a small town in the American, South, for essentially. And so maybe they were less open to it, but there's a lot of really specific reasons we'll get into.
All right.
Okay. Some say, and we're going to get into it right now, some say that the subject of a hulking beast was beneath his lofty journalistic standards, while others insisted that he was responding to the sightings of a hairy ape-like monster which had broken less than a week before in Sister Lakes, Michigan, resulting in a massive media circus and the local police clamping down on dozens of well-armed would-be monster hunters.
So the fun police came in and said, hey guys,
fun police.
no more funds allowed. Kids, drop the guns.
All right, yeah. In some
Yeah.
ways, they're the fun police. In
They
other
are.
ways, they're the police who don't want random fucking citizenry
Yeah.
shooting holes into one
Oh, you mean
another.
the police are overreacting again?
Wow.
Yeah. And that is not an indictment to any of the law
You are
officers that
an
listen to our show.
anti-authoritarian.
I am not. I love authority.
Bah!
I mean,
Pshaw, sir.
Yeah.
fuck. I mean,
You're being scapped.
I mean, hold on a second. I hate authority.
But respect authoritarians
respect
if they listen to our show.
Exactly.
That's fair. Okay. Whether his intention was to prevent such a potentially life-threatening situation from occurring in his hometown, or if he just thought that Cockrell was concocting a copycat story, is unknown. But what is known is that he refused to print what this reporter had wrote. But while the Fourth Estate may have been remiss in its duties, small-town gossip was as virulent as ever, and by the cessation of the day, a couple of dozen young men had taken up baseball bats and other makeshift arms and gathered at the Riverside Drive location of the sighting to find themselves a monster.
You know what we call that?
Okay.
You know who those people are, Rob?
Who are they?
Heroes.
Wow.
Yeah,
God
those are the
bless you.
heroes.
I
Yeah.
do like that you have a defined and very distinct perspective on what's going on and that you are free to share it. I really admire that. You don't see any of the grays and
No.
maybe protecting the
Dude,
people
there
that
is
live
no
there.
gray area. How
Random
dare you?
bullets flying out of the
No.
woods,
No.
killing old ladies that are sitting on their back porch.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, muzzle awareness, and second of all, they had baseball bats and makeshift weapons, so they didn't. Maybe
First
they didn't
of
all
all,
have guns.
muzzle awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
You know
that's
where
the
you're
fault
shooting.
of the old lady
Yeah.
deaths.
I mean, how many old ladies die a year from random bullets? Give me a number.
You tell me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that number.
17.
You're probably wrong.
Every year. It's
Probably
odd.
wrong.
It's one of the great paranormal phenomenons. It's never 18. It's never 16.
It's always 17.
17.
Always 17.
Accidental,
Nice.
non-muzzle awareness, old lady deaths.
Dude, we've talked about this before. If this shit happened in Auburn, we'd be out there checking it out.
Oh, in a
you know we
heartbeat.
would be. And you know we'd have weapons. There'd be some.
Well-
Chris has swords. I have bats. You
Obviously,
have
I would have my
all
barbed
kinds of
wire
shit.
bat.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
Chris would have
exactly.
his claymore.
There you go.
would have your 3 daggers, 4 guns, and
No, but
the
look at if
moxie
people
of youth.
I'm not bringing guns.
showed up with other kinds of artillery, I might be a little concerned.
Yeah, always. Always. Okay. This created quite a buzz in the small community, and the Sentinel was left with no other option but to report the event and the sighting that led up to it. So, on the morning of June 18th, 1964, the Grafton Sentinel ran a much edited and decidedly derisive version of Cockrell's article with the memorable headline, and this is a gem, Teenage Monster Hunting Party's Latest Activity on Grafton Scene.
See? They're not taking their efforts seriously.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
It's rude.
The story went on to state, want to go monster hunting? If so, just join the roving bands of teenagers who are apparently convinced that a quote-unquote monster exists and is roving in the section of Riverside Drive near the city's stone quarry. Wednesday night, several bands of teenagers armed with flashlights, mallets, crowbars, and the likes.
Mallets. Mallets, I know.
Were
I'm
there
looking
like
for-
fucking
Really?
Thor fans in there?
Yeah, seriously.
Were reported searching the Riverside Drive area. The description of the alleged quote-unquote monster again sounds suspiciously like that of a recent report of a monster in Michigan, except that Grafton's seems to be a bit bigger in every respect. One teenager said that the youths on Wednesday night were searching for a creature, quote, 9 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. He said it is agreed that the creature is white, has no discernible head, and emits a weird whistling sound, which of course we all know. So far as can be ascertained today, area law enforcement authorities have taken no official notice of the reports of the Riverside Drive monster. And just for the record, every time you erase the word monster, it's in quotes from here on.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Several teenagers, none of them identified by name, have reportedly seen the monster. The tale is even embellished with the theory that the creature was first sighted in the Morgantown area and arrived in the Riverside area via the, and I'm going to fucking completely abuse this name, Monongahela, and Tigard rivers. I'm sure someone out there knows and will say and will tell me why I'm wrong.
Email us. Let
Yep.
us know.
One youth even suggested that it might be an escaped polar bear, but offered no suggestions as to where such an animal could have escaped from.
I think this editor's being a real dickhead, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
appreciate this guy at all.
No, I agree with that. He's layering it on. Following the publication of this classic Teenager v. Monster Hunt, the few citizens that weren't already aware of the situation became inundated with monster mania. The following evening, as the Sentinel editor likely feared, more than 100 Graftonites, adults and teens, quote, thronged to the river at night in hopes of tangling with the headless horror.
Yeah, because fuck that editor. That's why. There's some shit going down in town, and you got people trying to fucking take action to protect their fucking loved ones and their property and their collectibles and shit they're
And their
into.
collectibles.
Yeah, and you know what? This guy's being
And
a
their Revolutionary
fucking dickhead.
War plates.
Yeah.
And their Civil
Wow.
War chess
Yeah, and
sets.
stamps and shit.
Yeah,
you don't know
you're
what a
right.
monster with no head can do to that.
Yeah, no.
You got dogs, animals, and
Monsters
kids.
hate
well
philatelists.
fucking armed
Yeah,
kids,
they
by
hate
the way.
collectibles.
Yeah, they do.
exactly. It's
Wow.
bullshit. This guy takes nothing
Memorabilia
seriously.
rooms.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
why
done.
you're so mad. I have a memorabilia room, and I could be affected.
Oh, jeez, that's a deep cut.
Say-
That's a deep cut. This fucking guy doesn't take shit seriously at all. These people are on the front lines of protecting their fucking livelihood. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, good sir. This fucking guy is trying to prevent that shit by being a dickhead in the newspaper. And that's
Okay.
why you can't fucking trust the media.
But can I throw in just an alternate point of view for
What's
shits
that?
and giggles? That these people were not trying to protect their sundry collectibles and fucking...
Right.
What was the mint that used to fucking... Franklin Mint fucking...
Franklin Mint,
Yes,
yeah.
all the great things they used to put out on fucking TBS, the
Yeah.
Superstation. And maybe they were just out there having fun, fucking wanted to frolic with their neighbors and go fucking monster hunting.
Was anybody hurt?
17 people.
Was-
Old ladies all.
No, no
on
one
their
was
back
hurt.
porch.
You know what? Nobody was hurt. But you know what else happened? Property was protected. Life continued.
I will agree with you.
There.
That
Yeah.
it is the press's duty to print anything that is going on of any significance in their community, and that a well-informed public is usually a public that is better off.
Now with this guy,
But in this case, it did become kind of
yellow journalism.
no, it went fucking, like psychologically viral and drove tons of people to be in the woods with all sorts of weapons, and it could have resulted, but
Didn't. Yeah.
in injury and or death.
Life can result in death.
Life,
Wow.
liberty,
Yeah, you like
liberty,
that?
and pursuit of death.
Yeah, life, liberty, the pursuit of death. There it is.
That's another
There.
classic saying.
Yeah, from Mark Stores. Yeah,
Yeah.
hellerspace.com. Get your fucking swag. Get your
We're
t-shirts.
gonna put out a book. It's gonna be called "From Monkey
Wait a
Dicks to
minute.
Magic Whales: The Quips and Aphorisms of the Kryptonite Podcast."
You actually can't have life and pursuit of death in the same.
Sure, why not?
I believe
Whatever,
in life
it works.
and the pursuit of death.
We
It
literally,
doesn't really
we
work.
are like we literally have a hashtag hellerspace. I mean, it works. You just got to go with it. Yeah,
Full commitment to the absurd.
exactly.
It is a hallmark of us.
That's how we do. All right, Robert, I'm going to grab you a beer, good sir. Continue.
Thank you. In the mid-'60s, this might as well have been a scene culled directly from a feature playing at a local drive-in. Only this was ostensibly real and potentially, though not in Mark's eyes, very
Yeah.
dangerous. On the evening of June 18th and the morning of the 19th, over a score of eyewitnesses called the paper claiming to have encountered the slick-skinned, broad-shouldered beast at the nearby stone quarry. Cockrell was now officially the man on the monster beat, and with both his personal and professional curiosity piqued, he individually questioned everyone who claimed to have seen the thing, separating the reliable testimony from the fly-by-night and reporting that many of the accounts tallied, and I quote, to the finest detail. After the chaos of June 18th, the Grafton editor reconstructed Cockrell's submitted story, the second story that is, to have an even more condescending tone and published it on the front page of the June 19th Sentinel. It reads as follows, beginning with the patronizing headline. Monster, again in quotes, result of spring fever, comma, wild imagination.
This
Oh my
fucking-
God.
This guy's
I mean, that
fucking-
just-
Spring fever.
yeah.
Spring fever.
I'm not gonna go off on him yet. I'm gonna give him a little bit of time. Okay?
You are not going to feel any more
It's
charitable
okay. You
towards
know, I'm
him.
gonna let you continue, and then I'll scream about this guy.
Fair enough. This was followed by Grafton's alleged monster, reportedly the personification of the active imaginations of a number of teenagers, couldn't have shown up in the Riverside Drive area if it wanted to on Thursday night. Too many teenagers and adults were roaming that section of the city.
Oh, ha ha ha! It's so funny, Mr. Editor. Someone should flip this guy's car and set it on fire.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay, I
said
thought you were
it.
going to wait, but that's
No.
good.
All right, I'm
glad.
just putting it out.
No,
putting
no,
it out
no.
now.
He's got to be in a dick.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
let it build inside you,
No.
it'll just
No,
cause
continue.
tumors.
Yeah, exactly.
At approximately 10 p.m., it was reported that cars were almost bumper to bumper along the River Drive, and a number of cars were pulled off the road to permit joining in the area's most popular sport in recent years, monster hunting.
This guy, nobody likes this guy.
Some 20 reports from persons allegedly seeing the monster have been quoted since Tuesday night, when an all-white creature without a discernible head was reported near the city's rock quarry. Wednesday night, about 30 teenagers engaged in a monster hunt, but by Thursday night, the number of teenagers had doubled, and the number of adults and a number of adults had joined in the action.
Yeah, fun.
So 60 teens and piles of grown-ups.
Exactly. Protecting their
Piles.
property.
And here's where your
Collectibles.
ire will not be piqued at all.
Fine.
A combination of spring fever, lack of recreation facilities.
Oh yeah, there's no fucking skateboard
You know,
park. That's why.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no skateboard park to skate at, and there's no pool hall to buy weed from.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go hunt monsters. I dare say better than skateboarding and buying weed, but that's just me.
I would agree with
I'm a
that,
skateboarder
actually.
who bought weed from a pool hall.
Don't get me wrong, both are fine pastimes, but monster hunting is just
All right.
the tits.
Let's just continue this before. Okay, let's just do this. All right.
So this lack of fucking recreational facilities, and I'm going to continue with the story, and the recent publicity given a Michigan town which claims to have its own monster which followed people are believed to have laid the basis for the wildly imaginative story about the Grafton, once again, quote unquote, monster.
I understand why this guy's wife left him, and I get why his kids hate him.
Yeah.
I do
It
because
makes
he's
perfect
sense.
fucking no fun Tom.
He's
He's just a big fucking dickhead.
no fun town.
Yeah.
but
Hey, he's there to report the news.
Defend
I get
Tom,
it.
Chris.
No, dude, if you're gonna give this thing a slant, you're gonna be like, all these fucking kids. Blah, blah, blah,
This
blah,
guy
blah, blah.
might be
Literally
an old
nobody was
man
hurt. People were out
in
looking
West
and
Virginia listening to our podcast because he just,
No, he's
it's
not.
Grafton. I know this story.
not here.
And he's going to hear fucking Mark badmouthing him. Chris, run to the rescue.
dude, I
You
don't
can't
know.
'cause he's not
Would you let Chris say his fucking piece, sir?
He's not
Say
talking.
his piece.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, somebody's got to reel in a little bit. Like,
He wasn't reeling it in though. He was just being a dick.
You, sir, would fail at debate club.
yeah.
Would you let the rebuttal occur?
It did.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
just
saying.
had our debate
I'm not
moment.
saying I like the fun. I like random mobs.
Sure, who doesn't?
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean,
You-
unless
you-
they result in lynchings and other
Yeah,
horrible,
well,
horrible
Well, that's what I
outcomes.
mean. You
I mean, that's a
gotta
jump.
you gotta reel
It
that
is,
in.
but mobs, do sometimes result in some heinous shit.
Whatever. Nobody was hurt. And you know what? Was the monster found? That's the big question, Robert.
Yeah, clearly, it's in the Smithsonian right now, stuffed for all of us
yeah,
to
no,
enjoy.
the only found cryptid.
How this fucking failed to get
Spoiler
popular?
alert! They found it.
Never know.
Is this the only thing that ever is actually real? What we talk about? Yeah.
Duh. This is the most famous cryptozoological account in history. That's why we're covering
They
it.
found the monster, and then they were like, "Fuck you, Mr. Editor! Look what we did. You
Killed,
piece
stuffed.
of shit."
And the desk with which the editor rewrote these
Yeah.
terrible stories is also preserved at the Smithsonian, where it says, Tom was a douche.
Yeah.
The monster's real.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but change science forever.
Nice.
Psych.
Gotcha.
The unnamed editor, who we've clearly fucking dubbed Tom, concluded the story with a theory as to the monster's origin that ranks right up there with a hobo and bicycle reflectors.
My favorite theory, though.
when
I do
he
love
claimed that a routine check by the Sentinel, this is a quote from the story, showed that the monster may have resulted from the fact that an individual pushing a handcart loaded high with boxes walked along Riverside Drive on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And in the half-light of late evening, this person, a woman it turns out, not that it matters, but that's what it turned out to be, and the loaded handcart apparently took a weird shape for persons having just read the story of the Michigan monster. So when he says persons, he's really saying Robert Cockrell.
His
he's saying his own
fucking
reporter.
own
His
reporter,
own-
yeah.
right.
And he is saying that it was a woman. I don't know anything about the background of this woman. They didn't elaborate on that in any of the sources
Okay.
I tried to look into. Was pushing a handcart loaded high with clearly pre-Amazon Prime boxes, white in color almost certainly, and that Robert Cockrell absolutely mistook that for a bipedal, seal-skinned, headless fuck-all standing by the side of
Because
the
that
road.
makes sense.
Because that really makes more sense than anything else.
It does not.
I mean, a 9 foot tall, 4 foot wide, bipedal, seal-skinned, headless creature, or some poor old woman pushing a handcart.
Yeah,
with
but
boxes.
that's your description of it.
Dude. I'm
Well,
just
that's
saying.
Cockrell's description.
That's
of it.
Cockrell's, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, when I said your, I don't mean your. I mean,
right.
Right.
All right.
Okay,
Well-
but in all fairness, all right. So he's going about 40. He slows into the turn. I don't know how much. Maybe 30, 35.
Who
Who the fuck
knows?
knows? His headlights catch this thing. He's looking at it long enough to discern what he at least describes, and then, frightened, he speeds away. Now, Chris is absolutely right in that we don't know what Robert Cockrell saw. We
Right.
we can't be in his headspace.
Sure,
We weren't
yeah.
there that night.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But
All right.
that having been said, the distinctly angular boxes might give the impression, but a 4 foot fucking wide,
Dude,
7 to 9 foot tall.
it's
Like,
Tom
how
the
many
editor.
boxes? How wide is this? Like, all right, you don't see the woman pushing the cart. You don't even maybe necessarily notice the cart because the headlights, it falls into shadow beneath the headlights.
Right. It was raining. It was
And
hard to see.
He's got high
Yeah,
beams on.
there you
It
go.
wasn't raining, but he's got high beams on. Okay, those two things I can say. But a stack of boxes that fucking big being pushed
Well-
by a lone woman
well,
seems unlikely.
We'll get to
And
it.
mistaking
Does.
that for fucking something organic seems even less
Well,
likely.
well, you're assuming those are specifications are completely true as well.
But he was open to the 7 to 9. 7 to 9 obviously gives you a big range because you could also include 8. Thank you. 8 feet.
Well, 7.5.
Yep.
Also 8.5.
8 3/4.
Really? We're gonna talk
7 and
measurements
2
now?
fifths.
Oh,
What I'm
Jesus
saying
Christ.
is,
72 fifths.
7 and a 16th.
he didn't.
Oh,
he
it's
didn't
my favorite.
say
I love
dead
7
up,
and 16th.
9 feet tall, 4 feet wide. He was approximating. That's still a lot of fucking boxes.
Yeah, I love when I have to
But it's still
grab a wrench at
approximating.
work and I'm like, oh, it's a 7 and a
It- a
16th. It's literally big,
Three
as big as my
16ths.
fucking head. Yeah.
Anything with that 16th and that you cannot reduce,
Yeah.
I hate.
No, the same here. I absolutely
hate.
hate it. And that's when I go, oh, it's metric.
Yeah.
I go, oh, it's easy.
5/16.
It's easy. It's
Fuck you.
It's a 60 millimeter wrench. There
Yeah.
you go. Actually, you use one of those today. All right, Robert.
And that's when our favorite editor mentioned, for good measure, and I quote, "It's fairly certain that monsters don't go around pushing handcarts loaded with boxes."
I'm so glad that his kids don't have to deal with him on Christmas anymore. You know why? Because they deserve a better Christmas than to deal with this fucking guy.
How do you know?
He might be really loving to his
They
family.
might have dope
I think
toys.
he's an asshole.
He might
sounds
be
like an
a
asshole.
kind-hearted family man who does
just
charitable
mad.
We're not
work.
here to talk about his kind-hearted works. We're here to call him an asshole because he's disparaging our monster.
No,
uncle.
that's you. That's
Fine.
you.
All right, I'm in my own. Fine, I'll get in my monster boat.
We-
It's fine.
we-
I'm
we-
here alone.
We came here
that?
ostensibly.
Right there. How about that?
Wow,
You
that's,
guys like
that's a
that?
lot of middle fingers. That was
Yeah,
a whole
one
lot.
for you. One for you.
Wow,
How
you
about
sure
that?
Take your hole-ridden
man,
monster
you-
kayak. Get the fuck out of town.
Yeah, here I am on the way down the river like this. Like this.
Sinking.
Like that? You like that? Yeah.
Sinking.
Going down like this. Middle finger in the air.
Enjoy your
Yeah.
piranha.
That's right. My piranha.
Enjoy your dirt river.
Your dirt river and your single piranha.
Yeah.
The single piranha in the river.
Dirt river. Enjoy it.
I would enjoy a dirt river. You know me.
Well, that's
fucking love a
that's
dirt
the
river.
Mississippi.
That's all of them around
most
here,
rivers. In
though,
fact, that's
yeah.
all rivers pretty much.
The only river I
dirt
want.
Very rarely do you see a clear river.
There's
not
no
around
such
here.
thing.
If it's not a dirt river, I
They're
don't
there to
want it.
move.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
move,
exactly.
and it's dirt. They're
river.
dirty.
Yeah, so there.
Dirt
I'll be
river.
on the dirt
the
river.
Mark Store story.
Dirt river.
Eventually, like in the cases of the Murfreesboro Mud Monster and the Mill Race Monster, respectively, the thing, whatever it may have been, moved on and the monster mania died down. But Cockrell, fueled by his own experience, continued to pursue his own investigation, eventually contacting West Virginia's own legendary monster hunter, Gray Barker.
Fucking Gray Barker's
Barker.
back,
It's
baby.
back in.
Bob Barker.
Fuck yeah,
Bob
Gray
Barker. Spay and neuter. On July 10th, 1964, Cockrell wrote Barker, revealing for the first time the names of the friends who had accompanied him back to the river and relating other accounts that he had uncovered, including a 1952 sighting in which eyewitnesses described a large white creature about the size of a wash tub, oddly specific,
Right.
leaping up and down. Most notably, the thing had no visible head.
We're dealing with headless fucking creatures here, man. They got their heads in their chest.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's exactly
a wash
it.
tub on it.
Saying, yeah.
You'd be like, that looks like a thing with no
Looks like
head.
Modoc.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, Modoc
Well,
as fuck. Little,
maybe.
little
I mean,
when
weird
I-
arms and
you know,
legs
a
and
little
shit.
bit.
When I
A big
did
old face.
a drawing of this
Oh,
thing.
or fucking Armanzola. Yeah, you
Oh
remember
my
Armanzola?
God, wow.
Yeah, dude, fucking deep pull, dude.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Armanzola's dope as shit.
I definitely put the head in the body,
yeah.
which reminds me of Mothman, but we'll get to that in a minute. The idea that there's not a head that juts up from the
Why
torso.
can't this be a giant face?
Why
all
can't the
face?
torso face?
All face.
Zardoz?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Zardoz. I'll do it all face. There you go.
yeah, puking guns. It's your perfect.
Oh.
You should be worshiping Zardoz.
Yeah,
Fucking
dude.
right, yeah.
Pray to
yeah.
Zardoz.
Fucking guns, dude. Puke them up.
That's a fucking deep cut. Another remarkable sighting occurred a week later when an anonymous man reported seeing the thing just 30 miles away in Morgantown, West Virginia. Strangely, yet another witness reported seeing a similar creature in the woods near his home, which seemed to be unafraid of either weapons or animals and made it a point to avoid humans. Oddly, this account hailed from Missouri.
Okay.
So we got people seeing similar shit, headless shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same
Well-
basic time frame. Was this part of a migration track, another similar yet different beast, or merely a copycat report? The lack of details concerning these sightings makes it impossible to know for certain.
I mean, maybe the lady with the box is just making her way across America, and everyone's
It's
like, "Oh
true.
fuck, it's a headless monster."
It's like that fucking David Lynch movie with the guy on a lawnmower going to visit his brother. I'll never remember the title, but it's that with a handcart and lots of boxes.
Yeah.
remember that, but
It's one of his odder films.
okay,
and a,
cool. I'm
a
there.
voix that is decidedly odd. Barker, for his part, hypothesized that many, if not most, cryptid encounters were the result of, and fucking get ready for this, extraterrestrials dropping off their quote-unquote animals on Earth to either test the suitability of the environment for their own kind or to simply offer the creatures recreational time, as if our homeworld were nothing more than an alien dog park.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about the SPCA theory.
Yeah.
The fucking aliens are like tired of their shit, and they're like, "Fuck this," and they just dump them off.
Yeah, so SPCA,
Yeah.
zoo,
I don't know what
fun
I-
park, all out there. Not that I necessarily buy any of it. He also speculated that the whistling noise may not have emanated from the creature itself, but from the UFO that was retrieving the beast. By the way,
it
if
was
you
the
guys
tracker.
recall, in The Vegetable Man, I don't know if it was Jennings Frederick who actually encountered or allegedly encountered the Vegetable Man, but Gray Barker who wrote down the report. But there was a weird high-pitched whistling
Yeah.
sound at the end
Okay.
of that, and it was surmised at the end of that it was the UFO leaving with the Vegetable Man.
Yeah.
So maybe this is just, maybe fucking Barker was just horny for ETs and he could not accept that there were any terrestrial cryptids. And so the Vegetable Man,
mean-
out.
Yeah.
Headless Horror, zoop.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You know, I mean, if
But it's
there
a
was,
pattern that's worth
if there
noting.
was UFO sightings in the area or whatever, then
Yeah,
all
you know,
right,
I mean, maybe
All right, well, we'll
maybe
see.
there wasn't at all, as far as I know.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah, there's not. Just
There's
there's no foreshadowing there. There were none.
All right,
He's just
fine.
not.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Others have theorized that the thing was neither of indigenous or extraterrestrial origin, but, and you're welcome, Mark, originated from interdimensional, I don't know, planes.
Oh, so we're talking the thin veil, the thin membranous veil.
Yes, indeed.
The,
Stretched thin.
the sinewy veil between
Oh,
worlds opened
that's-
up.
First, I got to say, I don't know
The lasagna-esque
why
veil.
you think that, but that is a very descriptive. Can you imagine if it's like
Yeah,
fibrous
that's what it
tendons that
sounds
get
like,
peeled?
man,
So instead of
yeah.
like, latex being stretched to the breaking point,
dude,
it
it's
actually would make more sense that
Yeah.
these veils would be sinuous because then you could get breakages where things could leak through, but the whole thing won't collapse. Because otherwise it would be like a balloon popping and it's just fuck all. Everything from there would be here and then there'd be no difference.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know what, dude?
Well
maybe,
done.
Maybe it was thin.
I'm not saying it has to be sinuous, but I am saying that if it is like I've always perceived it to be, basically like opaque saran wrap,
Yeah.
a hole would be pretty detrimental.
And I think that my lasagna description was better. The lasagna-esque.
So you mean
Yeah,
lines of it?
Yeah, it's like a weird.
So
gooey
you could basically be saying
tomatoes
like
and
the fucking
cheese,
the little
yeah,
washers in a
manicotti.
car wash.
Yeah.
Those little shimmying
But let's not
hula
forget,
girl
too, that
octopi.
we
octopuses.
are in West Virginia.
Yes, we are.
And,
So
you
what
know,
does that
a
mean?
lot of weird shit happened there. You got Point Pleasant, you got
Yeah.
Flatwoods,
Oh,
you got
there's so much.
Grafton, you got tons of shit that goes on there.
Tons of fucking oddness.
Kind of like Ohio.
very much
Where
like
is it in
Ohio.
relation to West Virginia?
Fucking right there.
It is, yeah.
I don't know what's below Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
To this day, I still
West
don't.
Virginia.
I was hoping.
But I believe
Is West Virginia beneath Pennsylvania?
it probably is.
Yeah, it is.
Is it real? You know this?
Oh, you've done the work.
Did you drive it?
I've driven south
Oh,
before.
okay, all right. So We discovered what's beneath fucking
Yeah!
Pennsylvania. Yeah, bitch.
I feel like we talked about this a long
Don't
time
matter.
ago.
Yeah,
Fuck
well,
you,
we absolutely
Pennsylvania. We're going to West
It
Virginia.
depends which way you go when you get there.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't that everything?
No.
It depends.
You end
It's
up
not
somewhere
every-
else depending on where you go.
We're dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I'm not arguing how stupid we are.
No,
What I
I'm
meant-
saying
No, you really are because we're stupid.
Which way you go. Some states, if you just go north, you're gonna hit one state.
All right, that's fair.
But eventually you just keep going straight. You know where you're going to end up.
But
right back where you
somewhere
were.
else.
Yeah, exactly.
But in all fairness, you said if you just go north. What you just said is it depends on where you go, and I'm saying
all right,
that's
well,
true.
we're not going to have this argument right now.
Is it
about
an
north.
argument,
You
or is it
just,
really
We're gonna have
us
this
drowning
discussion.
in fucking liquid stupid?
Yeah,
No, yeah. No, please. Let's help our listeners get dumber.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Please.
It's
All
not
right.
fair to them.
So, no, it's not because they're all brilliant, bright, and beautiful people.
In his letters, Cockrell insisted that his and other reliable local sightings were not a figment of imagination or practical jokes. Intrigued, Barker drove to Grafton to interview Cockrell and to take detailed notes on the case. Notes which languished in storage until they were unearthed by Mark A. Hall in 1995,
Nice.
bringing us full circle. While Barker may have made his way onto other intriguing topics, Cockrell continued to search for the truth behind what he and a handful of others had seen in 1964. Sadly, his association with the Headless Horror resulted in years of ridicule and took a toll on his career, so much so that he refused to talk about the event for years after. That's just one of the sad
That's a
aftermaths.
bummer, yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as Falkville, but it's still sucks.
Hey, but we're giving him props now, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking good on you, dog.
All right. In 2014, Grafton Monster was given the spotlight yet again on a clusterfuck of an episode of Mountain Monsters. Obviously, no salient details were revealed. Listen, I don't make it a habit to diss people with shows stuff. You go out there, you make TV, you're doing the best you can. You're trying to entertain. These guys, maybe they're true believers, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just having a great time being on TV. I wish them all the best. But that fucking show and that episode in particular.
Did you watch it?
I did. Because how much do you see on the
yeah.
Grafton fucking monster?
Wasn't there in preparation for this? I did look it up, and I started it too. And I'm a very sleepy boy, and I have an injured knee, so I go to bed even earlier to help with the recovery of my knee, or maybe I just got bored as fuck and passed the fuck out.
Those are
Is
both
this the
options.
one where they claim that they had video evidence of the Grafton?
Yeah, they said somebody sent them.
Okay,
I mean, this
yeah.
was years ago that I actually saw the
Right.
episode, but they claimed somebody sent evidence, and I thought maybe they, listen, I know most of these shows are night vision and antics. I get it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
90% across the board.
A lot of nothing happened.
What I
so.
was hoping for, though, would be at least the first 10 minutes or so dedicated to,
The story?
facts surrounding
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah.
This was not the case. So, again, I mean, if you're a fan of Mountain Monsters, good on you. Everyone should be able to enjoy the TV they want. It's just, this will not offer you any illumination.
And look, man, I'm sure the
Whatsoever.
mountain monster dudes are good dudes.
Oh,
Unless,
yeah, I'm not
unless
dissing
they've
them.
done heinous shit, then we don't support that. But I'm sure for the most part they're good dudes. You never know with TV personalities. Every 1 minute someone's cool, the next are fucked.
You never know with the human race.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Check it out if you want. It's there. I couldn't make it through it, but then again, I'm an injured sleepy boy. So
Injured sleepy.
Sleepy
injured
boy.
sleepy boy. So
In 2018, as we said earlier, to the delight of gamers and crypto enthusiasts globally, the Headless Horror of Grafton and sundry other paranormal notables from West Virginia were incorporated into Bethesda Softworks' post-apocalyptic video game, Fallout 76.
yes, and this
your
thing
favorite.
is, and if you don't I came across this thing early in the game because I just ran across a map. I was like, "Fuck the world," and I had nothing, and I just ran across the map and eventually came across a shitload of them. No, actually, I came across this and a bunch of snallygasters. And I just
those-
got fucking destroyed.
Also, they borrowed some shit from Maryland.
Yeah, there's a snallygaster.
Right
there's
on.
there's the Mothman. There's a couple other random things that popped up. But yeah, this thing fucked me up a couple of times.
Did they have a Flatwoods?
I think they might.
How do you not?
I don't know. I played it for maybe 2 months, and I got so pissed off because of the whole multiplayer thing. And I'm on my quest. I'm doing my tapes. I'm having good. I got my camp. Someone raids my camp and fucks it up. I'm playing, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of power armors going across the border. Someone drops a nuke, and then I got to fucking get out of there.
You know I don't know what you're talking
is
about.
why-
None of us do.
This is why I stick with Skyrim. And my new favorite, and there's a new one coming out this month, Doom.
Oh, there you go.
Doom's fun. Just run around and shoot things. It's good. I like it. It's a good time.
I'm glad.
Okay.
All right. I wish you guys play video games, but you don't.
I don't play anything past 1990.
Yeah, we're definitely
Well, if any of our
anachronistic.
listeners out there are on Xbox,
Something.
hit me up and maybe we can add each other and play video games.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Oh,
It'd
no.
be fun.
I have a hard enough time sucking in the privacy of my own living
Yeah.
room. I don't necessarily need to make
Maybe
that
I'll
part
play
of
some
That's
sweet,
what I like.
some sweet
the world
fucking,
at large.
Yeah, play some sweet co-op with people. You never know. All right, so
You do that.
I
Where
will
do we-
play Dig Dug.
all right, okay,
Oh,
then Dig
Mr.
Dug.
Do.
All right.
So where do we go from here, Rob? How do we end this? Let's round this fucker out.
Whatever this undeniably odd entity may have been, and from wherever it might have hailed, the entire incident was, in my opinion, brilliantly summed up by author Kurt McCoy, who on April 11, 2007, while researching and soliciting accounts for his book White Things, West Virginia's Weird White Monsters, which is in my
Nice.
queue. I haven't picked it up yet. I will eventually, but
All right.
it's going to be full of shit we'll love. Posted his assessment of how the whole headless horror affair compared to a classic monster movie in a Yahoo Groups page dedicated to Grafton, writing, and I quote, "The crusading reporter discovers a monster and sets out to investigate, despite the objections of his skeptic editor. Teens turn out in droves to look for the monster. The authorities want to, quote-unquote, avoid a panic and move to discourage those crazy kids. An eccentric scientist/investigator, Gray Barker in this case, hears of the story and wants to investigate himself. The only thing that's missing is the reporter/hero confronting the monster in Reel 3. We've seen this movie. Heck, I grew up watching it every weekend on Chiller Theater." End quote.
Wow.
And he's fucking right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the reporter in me, old school. Maybe it's the movie lover, and maybe it's my eternal affection for Kolchak the Night Stalker. God bless you,
Oh,
Darren
right,
McGavin.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But whatever it is, it makes me love this moist, leathery monstrosity all the more.
Aw.
And there you have it, folks. The headless horror of Riverside Drive / Grafton / Grafton Monster
Yep.
/ Beast of Grafton / who the fuck else knows what.
This one's cool as
It's
shit.
fascinating.
It
You
is.
know, it's funny because if you distill it, if you really distill it, it's a brief sighting of an immobile thing.
Yeah, yes.
And it's
Yeah.
a bunch of panicky, excitable teens
100%.
seeing fucking weird shit by the quarry, the old quarry.
It is
Fucking-
still more exciting than the Dover Demon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gentle
Well,
lean of
yeah.
the peanut-headed
Because they had a
Dover demon.
panic. If any cryptid sighting had a panic,
Yeah. It makes it-
they'd all be the dope shit.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
that ups the
That-
intrigue by like 70%
right.
instantly.
Yeah, I mean, look,
But
you had
if
you know what you had? You had a community come together.
Yes.
That's the important part. People were out there probably barbecuing, having a good time. People seeing each other. Hey,
Okay,
hey Rob, what's
well,
up?
listen,
Fucking how you doing, brother?
Oh, you
cool.
gotta.
Let's go
That's
fucking
the
kill a
dope shit.
monster.
Listen,
We all agree.
you're throwing pork.
Saying
you're doing red.
You
you're
got
throwing
your
pork.
mallets, you got your guns, your
Right,
mallets,
that's
your base,
dope.
you got your. If someone had some fucking sweet size or some ninja swords or some shit.
No, listen, whatever. Do whatever. Go on
Yeah.
displays. I don't care what you're
Exactly.
doing. It doesn't lend any more validity to the sighting.
Chris is right.
You are correct.
It's awesome. The whole accoutrement of a
Maybe-
monster mania.
you know what?
It's
I
both
love it.
potentially
I know,
dangerous.
I love
but
it.
Pop culturally, it is the fucking kitty's titties.
Yeah.
It is the best,
It is kitty titties.
and I love it.
Is this our new level of if we're gonna live by cat's tits? Is that what we're gonna do?
Well,
really?
cats are the dope
Yeah,
shit.
cats are the
Okay,
dope shit.
all right.
As our titties, ergo.
the cat's
the best.
The cat's
Yeah.
tits. Okay, all right.
So, so that having
All
been
right.
said, as awesome as that is, what further, I guess, not just intrigues but fascinates me about this case is the just absolutely unmistakably original description of this creature. It is
Yeah.
unlike
Yeah, it's kinda-
anything
it's
fucking
weird.
else,
Yeah.
either extraterrestrially or cryptozoologically. That
Yeah.
I haven't read it all. No one has, but I've read lots. This is unique.
And we don't even really have a point of reference for what this could possibly be because it's just frozen on the side of the road. It's just there.
Other sightings claim to have seen it moving and or jumping up and down.
Okay, but all right.
So the main sighting, you're right. It's just boom.
it's frozen.
Yeah.
It's just in that
Yeah.
classic. Well, not even classic.
If
I'm
it-
doing the classic Sasquatch
No,
pose.
you're right now,
Patterson
you're
Gimlin,
doing- yeah.
But that's not what it was.
Yeah,
It was
you're
just
doing
squat.
DRI guy.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
totally. Yeah, you are caught in a mosh.
Totally.
So, theoretically speaking, just, let's say, okay, the interdimensional theory.
Yeah.
If for some reason this guy was just fucking driving down the road and for whatever reason the veil gets thin and he just happens to see something that's there. It didn't move. It didn't do anything.
Not particularly.
Except that they did find that there was some disturbance in the grass.
They found that the grass
Was
was
something
matted
by something heavy.
apparently something very
Exactly.
heavy.
So they could possibly take it out of the running. Possibly not. Maybe it came through for a little peek and then fucking went back home.
I will say
We don't
this for just on the facts of it. If it was a person with a cart, there would be runner tracks. There would be wheel tracks going
100%,
through.
yeah.
And the rest of the grass would be sticking up fine and
Yeah.
unblemished.
Yeah.
So the fact
It would
that
be.
it seemed like it was
Yeah.
something heavy moving
Yeah.
around, and not even just two patches where something would just be standing and then moved,
And that wasn't found.
and it was adjacent to a river.
Don't look at me like that.
I know. The burden is now on Chris.
Now,
What the
yeah,
fuck?
The burden of proof is on you, good sir.
That's wrong.
It is wrong. But what I will say,
It's not wrong. The burden of proof is on Chris.
he is
No.
he might be the most skeptical of the three of us, but the burden of every rational
Yeah.
explanation
It's-
cannot possibly fall on Chris's
You
shoulders.
know,
He
it's
has
not.
hardy shoulders of a man.
I'm not suggesting he's too weak
I
to
think he
handle it.
might
I'm
be.
suggesting it's unfair to make him do so.
His middle name is the truth.
Yeah.
Christopher the Truth.
Well, yeah.
himself.
Well,
That's true.
it's just not right. The burden of proof is always on the person making the claim, not the person to defend that it's not true.
We're gonna work on this.
You know what? The editor made the claim that it was all bullshit. Ergo, the evidence or the burden of proof is on him to produce the evidence that it's bullshit.
He never did.
So you could turn that around.
No, that's not how that works.
I know. I'm fucking
I
with
know.
Just the look
That
on
is
your
not-
face
I-
alone made it
I just
worth
want-
it.
I'm like, no, that's not how that
Shocked.
works.
The fact that
Gas.
we're like, you and I are like, yeah. So now what, Chris? And then he's like, no.
Oh, you fuckers.
All right. So
All right, but before you go
I
too
guess
deep,
that there really isn't. We don't really have a point of reference for whether cryptozoology, ufology, interdimensional.
which brings
There's
us
just
to
something
another
there.
Yeah.
now famous case that we did in one of our Mystery Bag Mondays, which is the Flipper, from whence the
Oh,
legendary
no.
Hell or Space
Oh,
hashtag
yeah.
emerged.
Yeah,
And that
oh.
is, it was this weird, skinny, not skinny, but like it had skin rather than hair, I should say,
Yeah.
visible.
It did, yeah.
Flipper-handed thing that flew away, but
Yeah.
was seen near a river. So
Right.
this was seen near a river. It was seen. Well, actually, the first place it was seen was on a patch of first place that Cockrell saw it anyway was on a patch of grass between a road and a river. So it might have used a river as a conduit to travel on.
Could have,
Its
yeah.
seal-like skin might indicate that it might be a weird bipedal dugong. I don't think it is. I'm just
Okay,
saying
okay.
weird shit. But what I'm saying is it reminds me a lot of the Flipper case in that, with the exception of it fucking flying away, we don't know its origins.
Yeah.
But it seems pretty obvious that if they couldn't find any tracks, something that heavy would leave a lot of tracks, and there's just compressed grass leading down to a river.
There's no. There's
That
no
there's
prints.
a pretty good, if it is real, if it's
Right.
not like a lady with a cart and whatever else people might think, then it probably is traveling via these waterways.
So it's aquatic, yeah. Just jumps
Or
in, fucking-
amphibious,
Right.
or not even. I mean,
Okay,
I mean,
you know.
you could be an air-breathing mammal
I mean,
or
then
whatever,
again,
and
being,
still spend a lot of
being
time in the
9
water.
foot
Yeah.
tall by 4 foot wide that's not a swimmer's body.
It's not a swimmer's body.
And
It's
it's
not
not-
an Earth body.
and
It's
it's
not
not- and it's
anything
not-
you know.
No.
Michael Phelps does not look like that.
No.
sir.
But then seals don't look like Michael Phelps.
Again, he's a diver though.
No, he's not. He's a swimmer.
I thought he was a diver.
She's a
Have
swimmer.
you ever watched the fucking Olympics in your
No,
life?
he's just the guy that he got busted for fucking smoking weed, right?
Yes, but
He's
he
a
wasn't doing some
swimmer.
diving. He swims. He
Oh,
swim races.
Who's the fucking diver I was thinking of? Shit, I don't know.
Louganis? I don't know. There's tons of. I mean, there's literally millions
I
of
think
divers.
it was actually Greg Louganis because he was years before Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
That's how I
Wow.
And here's your
Yeah.
Olympic moment
Yeah.
from Mark Stewart.
fucking. Yeah, I'm the worst Olympic announcer ever.
No, believe his arguments. Go ahead. He's great.
Yeah, no, my arguments are solid. All right, Christopher, what do you think we're dealing with?
There's no, like I said, when you boil it down, there is this.
Okay.
Thing. This anomalous thing.
Yeah, and there's
All right,
there's not
so-
a lot there. There's nothing. You
If
can't
you-
misconstrue 9 feet by 4 feet.
If you wanted to have fun with this, what do you think it would be? Yeah, no, just look in your heart and look for fun.
Look in your
Look
heart.
in your heart. Look in
You
your
think
heart.
Chris is going to find fun in his heart?
He's
Open-
full of fun.
He's going to find.
He's
I
the
know, I'm
funniest
just-
person we know.
I'm like,
Jesus
hey.
Christ.
No, but he will also. But it will be.
Why are you turning?
Yeah.
Listen to me. The fun will be hidden behind a labyrinth of facts, science, and rationality.
We can get through
I
that.
don't know. I pull Nazis out a lot.
Here's
I don't think this is Nazis.
West Virginia Nazis. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Hold
what was
on a
in the
second.
bell? What was in the bell?
What's the Grafton
the
Monster?
bell?
What's in the bell? So the Grafton Monster came from the Nazi bell. What a bummer.
No, dude,
It's
I don't
landed in
know,
West
man.
Virginia, and they're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, the bell hatched. Out plopped.
Should I try to
like
do
a
my?
ball?
Should I try to do my German accent again?
Oh, maybe. Are you saying it was a giant like candy bar?
You mean, or like one of those eggs, those awesome eggs all our German friends
Whoa.
always
Yeah,
bring
those
us.
Kinder eggs?
Kinder eggs.
Yeah.
They pop open, it's a surprise. In this case, it's fucking headless horror.
In this case, it's the
Oh, it's a
fucking
giant Cadbury?
Grafton. Yeah, it's a giant Cadbury with the fucking Grafton Monster.
Dude, I don't know, man. It could
All
be.
right.
It could be. It's candy or space.
Space.
Ah, nice.
It's fucking Hershey's or space.
Oh, you know, it's
my
candy in space, a monster, or a woman with a cart. Honestly, kind of all the same field, really, if you think about
Oh
it.
yeah, no, it's broad spectrum.
Yeah, it's a huge spectrum. Yeah,
it's crazy.
So, Rob,
it's
are you
weird,
going to
it's
stick
mind-
with that? You think this thing is moving through the waterways? What do you think?
You know what I think? This is gonna fuck. This stems from it.
Oh,
Just
no.
it pops out now.
I feel Nazis coming on.
No, I watch a lot of David Attenborough. Who doesn't? It's
Okay.
a wonderful thing to sleep to.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this
doesn't?
great fucking documentary about these secret Japanese water gardens. I'm not going to go into the details. Find it on YouTube. It's fucking beautiful. Look for the
Guards?
4K one. Don't look for the shitbag one.
Secret Japanese water
Gardens.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
If you have a 4K.
If you have, but I'm just saying the other one is like a bad VHS dub from
Okay.
a rotten pixelated
Oh,
print.
God. All
Even
right.
if you don't have a 4K,
Okay, wow.
it still is a
But
better
it's either
quality.
40 pixels or 4K. That's all
Yeah,
you get.
That's all you get. Yeah.
So among the many
26
things, there's
pixels.
all these rivers and creeks and outlets that run through this town that's being fed by these natural springs. I'm going to get to the core of it. They focused on this little creature, this little malicious-looking thingy, an insect that lived in the water that would like pop out and grab fish or other things and eat it.
Whoa.
And I'm like, oh, that's a fucked up little thing. I wouldn't want to step on that. But it was, aquatic, and then it climbs out onto the stem and sits there, and then eventually its back rips open, and out comes a fuck-sucking dragonfly. So it was a nymph of a dragonfly.
Oh,
Then it
yeah,
went through
yeah,
its
okay.
pupal or larval phase.
This is
I don't know what
real?
it's called. This is real. This is how they work. I mean,
Fuck
at least
that
this
thing.
one, it was the ring-tailed or the gold-ringed dragonfly from Japan. I don't know.
And it jumps out and eats fish?
It buries itself under like the silt in the rocks.
Right.
Comes up and just snags living things as prey.
Like how big a fish?
Like
talking
little
about?
tiny minnow things.
All
Like it's
right,
not
all
like
right,
it's
all
not
right.
a beast. It's not a 7 foot.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. You're
inches or an
picturing
inch.
like a fucking like Flash Gordon
Like a-
when he
like
was
a-
running on Arborea
like
and
a-
that fucking
like
thing
a
came out.
beast, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
nothing
a
like
deep
that.
dive.
All
Jesus
right.
Christ.
But my point is this. This thing seems completely terrestrial, or in this case, aquatic.
Okay.
And it comes out, and suddenly something with wings that is big and gnarly and a great super predator emerges, just rips out of its back like a Nazuman. If you want to be a Toku fan, that was a super deep dig, but whatever.
What?
Forget about that reference. Just think about this. 1964. What is West Virginia most known for in paranormal circles?
The Mothman, Point Pleasant.
A pupal or larval mothman
Wow.
uses the waterways of West Virginia to get around, just shows up as just standing there.
Wow.
I'm like Shyamalan.
when it's
everything.
ready,
Did.
when it's ready to become its full potential,
Okay.
a flying winged terror. The back splits open. The carcass just gets washed away down the river. Gets
Okay.
eaten by fish. No one ever finds it.
Word.
But this is the nymph stage of a mothman.
Really?
I mean,
See,
it's not. It's
It would-
not
it would
not
explain
possible.
why you don't see it anymore.
I mean, but what year was Mothman again?
64 was the first sightings, like Cornstalk and all that other stuff.
I always attribute Mothman to more of a paranormal state.
Agreed.
Than a physical. Like you're saying, it starts off as an actual just physical thing of the earth, and then
I am saying
Yeah, I guess
flies
that
off
flies
in the
away.
paranormal.
All right.
First off, dropping a little spoiler for our audience, we have a Mothman month in the works
Oh,
coming up.
we do. Yes, we do.
And we are going to deal with both the corporeal, the paranormal, the ufological, and all the
Everything
elements
all
of
at once.
Mothman lore. And we're going to break it down into sections. So Chris is right. In a lot of ways, I consider Mothman to be, and so did John Keel, the guy who literally wrote the book.
Yeah.
Right.
Along with Gray Barker and many others, but especially
Sure.
Keel, who literally wrote the book. He looked at it as an encompassing paranormal phenomenon,
Right,
of which
right,
Mothman
right.
was only a small but
Yeah.
essential part.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We're not going to get into that right now because we can't. But let's just say this: even if it is something that's paranormal or possibly interdimensional or extraterrestrial, it could still have a corporeal manifestation in that it was really flying after cars and really scaring kids and really being red-eyed outside of windows, terrifying homeowners.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then it could have had an equally corporeal origin state. Which I know I'm going on a limb. I mean, I know, again, I'm pissing in the wind.
No, I know.
first
I'm
to
just
admit
saying, like,
that it could have been.
Yeah, I mean,
it had a nymph phase that
all
was
right.
bipedal. And think of it this way. What else would explain? Oh, a lot of things would explain. I shouldn't say it that way. How convenient would it be to have something that broad? Because a dragonfly nymph is very broad because it has to fucking encompass these 4 huge wings.
Right.
That aren't evident at all on the nymph.
right. Okay.
So something that broad
I mean,
could hide
I
furled
know,
up
I know. All
nascent
right.
Mothman wings.
Okay. I mean, you are
Be
pissed,
about it.
You're pissed. Listen, you're pissing in the wind.
I know that.
I'm not about it.
I'm not.
I'm just saying.
I'm against it. I'm not. I mean, it's an interesting theory, one that obviously I've never heard before.
Not enough Nazi bell for you?
You're not. No, there's just enough Nazi
yeah,
bell there.
the bell.
So you're not like you're pissing in the wind a little bit and it's kind of splattering back on you, but you're holding it together.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
You're adjusting your
No,
stream.
I'm pissing
Good
in the
job.
wind at an angle, so part of my slacks are getting wet, but my hands are staying
Right.
remarkably
You're
dry.
kind of peeing on the toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
It's a
Yeah,
drunk
little bit.
piss. It's definitely a drunk piss. Yeah, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
wheel off a
Kind
little
of,
and
yeah.
flush
Yeah.
it so that the host doesn't get pissed.
Somehow you managed to piss in the basket on top of your toilet. Ever done that? Been there? Been there
no.
once.
But I
did.
have accidentally hit the bucket that holds the plunger and been like, fuck.
It's not hard,
Leave it.
man.
And then you have to
Whatever.
make that decision. Am I going to dump it and fucking really have to scrub my
No,
hands? Or am I
dude.
so drunk I'm just going to let somebody deal with that in the future?
I have literally gone from the
Usually
fucking,
I try to be a good
I have
guest.
gone from the fucking wastebasket on the floor to the fucking container on the top to the toilet paper to the floor.
Dude,
What
listen.
in a
What the fuck were you
circle.
doing?
I'm drunk.
There's a
I'm just
radius.
drunk.
Listen,
Yeah, I'm drunk.
If y'all got dicks,
If you do,
there's
if
a
you don't.
there's literally a 180 circle.
yeah,
Oh,
of where
yeah,
you
there's
can
a piss
pee.
range.
Yeah,
And everything,
Absolutely.
like it's all like everything's nothing's off the table.
Yeah,
You're
you
right.
can, you can just
Whatever's
piss
in
on
that
anything,
range
yeah.
could possibly get pissed on.
Exactly. Yeah, there
Yeah,
it
I
is.
have had to clean off places that I would thought that I
No.
never could have peed on.
Yeah, and God forbid if you ever piss in the heater, oh, you're done. Anyway.
Oh, God, yeah.
All right,
I've
so
never
closing
done
it out,
that.
Robert, as fucking batshit crazy as your theory does sound, it's interesting.
4 foot wide, hides
4
a lot
foot
of
wide,
wings.
it does. It does.
It
is
doesn't have a
interesting.
face,
Okay.
or maybe a face embedded on the chest like we talked earlier. What's
Right.
the Mothman? Got a face on the chest.
Okay.
Doesn't have
All
any
right,
evident
God,
head.
you're turning me your way, but I don't want to go.
Pale and grayish white.
I don't
Pale
want
and
to do
grayish
it.
white. Listen, as much as, and I know we've abused the phrase pissing in the wind, but as much as I'm doing that, I'm also basing it on
Pissing
some
in
of
the
the
wind.
few key facts that we know about
All
both of these
right.
creatures.
Sure.
All right. I appreciate your theory and I endorse it, but I'm just going to go.
Just so you know, when you say but, it means you're not endorsing it.
I know.
Just so you know, the word endorse.
I'm actually
know.
surprised you're not.
I know.
I
really
am more
am.
likely to be about that theory than whatever you're gonna fucking say.
No, I mean, I'm at a loss of words.
That is not possible.
Because
I'm at a loss
you're
of
trying to
words. I'm
incorporate
trying to-
ultra-terrestrials or meta-terrestrials or fuck all
No,
terrestrials.
because
Intraterrestrials?
if
You're
I was to
trying
say
to do
that
something.
if I was to say that it was interdimensional, it would be kind of. I already described it as that this guy was driving down the road, and there's happened to be a little break in the veil, and he
The
saw it because it
veil.
wasn't fucking doing anything. But
What does that mean?
Yeah, but just because an animal or
do you mean
whatever
veil?
entity doesn't move doesn't mean it has to be on the other side of something.
just saying that in this fucking in this.
what do you
instant,
mean the other
that's it.
side? Okay.
So you're saying it's when you look through the veil into another dimension, all you get is snapshots. You don't get
Man,
moving
I
pictures.
was getting ready to fucking back your theory. Now you're just fucking
I
browbeating me
feel
to the
like
ground
you.
about
I
interdimensional
feel
shit.
like you weren't.
I was.
Do it.
I like your theory.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump into your
Now he
fucking
is.
grafting
We
boat.
shamed him into it.
Yeah, you did. I hope you're happy.
That's not true. I never
Yeah.
I do browbeat. Oh my god, I
Yeah,
do.
you do,
But
all
I
the
don't.
time.
Ever,
Yeah,
but
no,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't
It's your
want to make
fucking
converts
job.
that aren't genuine.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying it is a possibility that's on the table that I don't believe, at least in my research, has ever been explored before.
I do enjoy your theory because I've not heard it before, and it's actually kind of fucking cool. So good job, Robert. Yay, Bobby.
Wow, thank you.
Oh,
That didn't
come
feel
on,
condescending
Kristen,
at all.
No, I was
No,
excited.
I
sure
know.
you're
No,
not
I
editing
know.
a
I
small
know. I
town
know.
paper?
I'm not. I'm thinking. I'm not clapping because I'm thinking.
Okay, he's not on board, Rob.
No, I like the fact
No,
that Chris is
browbeating.
thinking.
No, I said I was more on board than you were on board, and then you became on board. So now I'm the one that has to prove I'm on board because you're a dick.
I mean, it's a great theory. It does in an odd way. It totally works. It's
know, but
honestly,
totally.
if you put that against a Nazi bell, there you go.
In all fairness, we all know what we're working with here.
Totally.
No evidence whatsoever.
Nothing.
There's
A very
zero.
quick
sighting,
eyewitness
yeah.
sightings, a very, very unusual entity, and the fact that it just chronologically to a degree correlates with another phenomenon,
Right.
and the fact that I just happened to watch a lot of David Attenborough when I saw that the other
Yeah,
night.
no,
I was
right,
like,
the
oh,
physic-
dragonflies, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, they're little fish-eating monsters and they fly to
Yeah.
glory.
Yeah, you got sucked into that.
So
That's it.
yeah,
That's a great theory.
I mean, we know how the trail goes, so I'm cool. It's
Dude,
not, it's not so much a real theory as it is. What the fuck?
Yeah, but
maybe.
dude, okay, so let's just say that after this episode launches, let's keep our eyes to the fucking crypto interwebs to see if this thing fucking gets steam. Because if it does, fucking
Steam.
copyright fucking 2020 Rob
yeah,
Morphy.
that's how it works. Copyright your hypotheses
Yeah,
here.
there you go. All right, cool. So there it is, the headless horror of Grafton.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Again,
Because,
hate...
again, it's the cotton candy and the
Yeah,
t-shirts.
it's
But here's an
fun.
interesting thing. It really doesn't seem like Grafton has exploited it. Like, I
No,
don't hold
not-
it
not
against
at all.
Point Pleasant
No,
folks
they
have
should.
every right to turn a buck as much as Roswell picked, or citizens, I should say.
Yeah.
To make money off it. To me, it does not delegitimize the
No, fuck
actual
it.
occurrence at all.
Yeah.
And especially if it's generations later, make your fucking money. But surprisingly, it doesn't seem, and maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong, maybe, I think there's like some sign posted like right where the event happened, and maybe you can buy a t-shirt or two there from
Right.
the actual
Well-
landowner, which is great. But I mean, I'm really surprised that they don't put themselves on the map. Unless they really are a bunch of people like Tom, that son of a bitch, and Ed are like, we don't cotton to
Yeah,
that kind of talk around
exactly.
here.
'Cause the goddamn-
your headless monster
Well,
talk.
I feel like there wasn't enough of an event. Something needed to have happened.
Right.
Well, Mothman's off the fucking charts. Like, off the charts.
Well,
Yeah.
because of what happened.
Right.
Like, you can't just be like, the site of a thing that was wide.
There really isn't a lot. to go
Like, there
yeah.
had to have been.
Yeah.
Chris is right. You're right too, Mark. But
That's how
think about
people-
the Mill Race
that's how
monster.
people are, though.
I mean, it starts off with, granted, a really intriguing sighting. Then a dude in a green mask apparently running around in front of
Oh,
wildlife
the
experts.
cats. Yeah, that's right,
And what
yeah.
made that famous more than anything else was the public reaction
Right.
rather than the initial sightings. So
Right.
in that sense, Grafton is an incredible footnote in the history of cryptozoology.
Yeah.
But I will agree, I mean, I wish that the sightings at the Stone Quarry weren't so goddamn sketchy.
Yeah.
And the hopping up and down wash tub one, because it would be nice to be able to
Yeah.
fill it out more, and it would be nice if it just moved a little. Goddamn it, when Robert
Yeah,
Cockrell
well,
saw
you-
it, but it didn't.
Dude, when you're a little fucking larvae and you're incubating a
You're
fucking
right.
Mothman, you
You're-
walk real slow, dude.
Well, in all fairness, that pupil or larval stage or whatever it is, it's a frozen shell at that point,
yeah.
and you have to dig your way out of it. The living entity inside.
Yeah, because when it came from the interdimension
Oh.
I don't know about that
area,
Interdimension
not
area.
really, no. No, I do like your theory, though. I think your theory is pretty
Who's to
fucking dope.
say that these things aren't from another dimension, and they maybe occasionally come here to breed, and
be.
this one thing didn't go back as
It's
quickly
like
as it should have.
Like a weird
Like
fucking...
Earth is a spawning ground.
like an interdimensional fucking uterus or egg.
no, I
gross.
wasn't saying that at all. It just comes here to breed.
Oh.
Or-
I thought it
or-
came here to
or
like...
to
yeah,
go
but
through-
wouldn't it come here
Jesus
to like
Christ,
hatch,
Mark,
too?
I swear
Well,
to God.
yes, obviously the whole
Well, if they're going to fuck her, they're going to
cycle
hatch.
encompassed.
Yeah, why would they
All right,
fuck
so-
her and go back home to
How,
hatch?
how do you not have to fuck?
Well, there's got
It
to
could be asexual reproduction.
Fine. God damn it!
He-
Can't you give me? Can't you just give it to me?
Mark hates
Yes.
science so much.
This is
I
a
do.
planetary ovary.
I clearly hate science.
the,
You know
lo-
this.
the longer his hair gets, the worse he fucking hates science.
I think I have to actually cut my hair
Why?
because the top is like getting wicked bald, man. I don't know. Nick's, my wife's working on hair things for me. I'm gonna go see my
You are not balding.
my lady
Working on hair things.
hair things.
I've
What
got
does that
fucking,
mean?
I've got
But different
Hiroshima head for
different
days.
products
You've
to
got
help
hair.
my hair, my John Parr hair.
Par.
getting there.
I never-
Anyway.
I'm working on a meme.
Please.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. When that comes out, you're getting a fucking
no.
meme.
All right, there you have it. Thank you all so very much for joining us for the Kryptonaut Podcast, hellorspace.com. Get your merch there. There are sales every week, or every month, not week, sorry. 35% off. Check that out. And we do have some new designs coming up very soon.
do.
Again, another
Again.
drop of designs.
We've been going through just a really creative period.
Also, too, thank you all to everyone that recently purchased, t-shirts and hoodies and stuff there. post your stuff on Instagram in a story or just up there and tag us in it so that I can add it into like our little album that we check all of our
please.
shit with.
Plus, it's just awesome to see.
It's cool to see people
rocking
wearing our
stuff.
shit. So just be sure to tag us in it, especially on Instagram. It makes it so much easier than any other platform. So check that out. Patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. $1 is a shout out. $5 is a shout out and some bonus audio. We are actually, after this podcast, going to be recording the first episode of March for Patreon. So be sure to check that out. The Instas, the Twitters, and the Facebooks. Check all that. Our Facebook group is super fun.
It is.
Lots of good memes, lots of good times, lots of fun
Rob
stuff.
Thompson.
And Robert Thompson holding it down over there. Thank you so very much. Bunch of people joined this week too.
Really?
Tons of people.
Dope.
Holy
It's
shit,
fun.
man,
I love going
crazy.
on. The shit about the cult was hilarious. Everything that's randomly posted there, I end up laughing out loud so often. It's just a great fucking
it's awesome.
place to
It
visit.
is.
I
It's a
really
good
it
time.
gets me on Facebook more than I ever would be.
Totally. So there you have it. Thank you all so very much, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Happy New Year.
Real quick, before we end this episode, I want to give a little bit of a correction. As per last episode for the Ouija riot, at the very end, past the music, we talked about Sublime covering Bad Religion, Fuck Armageddon, This Is Hell.
Yeah, that's what you said.
It was wrong. It was actually...
It was Dave Matthews.
No, it was not Dave
my
Matthews.
God.
No, actually, Sublime covered We're Only Gonna Die for Our Own Arrogance
Oh,
by Bad
we're
Religion.
only gonna die. All right.
Yeah, so Sublime covered that,
only gonna die.
but I'm going to say this. Biohazard did it first, and Biohazard did it better. So was Sublime covering Bad Religions, or were they covering Biohazard covering Bad Religion?
It depends on who they were fans of.
I feel like
Probably
they're
Bad Religion.
very much in the same aggressiveness, so I can't.
I'm just going to say that their version of it, not so phenomenal. Biohazard's better, and obviously Bad Religion's version, fucking the supreme.
That's the real
So,
mystery
well-
we want to leave you with.
Yeah, who did a better Bad Religion cover?
And who inspired whom?
Yeah, exactly. You know who's not involved? Dave fucking Matthews.
Ever. At least
Yeah.
not in this.
Yeah, don't go support that guy.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah, it's true. All
That's what he
right.
does, generator.
Oh my God.
Like a rock.
Generator.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You took the
guitar.
I know. I play guitar. I know. I played a. You have to play it when you do that. That sucks so bad.
That is
I am so
manifest.
sorry.
Oh my God! I'm never
Shut it
gonna
off.
get
Shut
I
the fucking
can't-
thing off.
End it now before
Shut
it
it
catches.
off.
Couldn't get it out of my mind.
Shut it off.
Oh God! Oh, it's worse than the coronavirus.
Oh my God. Bye. Goodbye. Shut it off. Hurry up.
Oh, am I fucking up with
No,
the
you're
lips?
doing good. You're doing perfect.
Then don't bring it up.
Dude, we would have been 30 seconds into it.
He's
Like,
doing good
No,
so
you're
far.
doing good.
No, because he has.
He only read one thing.
Dude,
Well,
he's
I'm
doing
not
good.
drinking Cabernet Sauvignon where my
I
mouth
know
is
that.
slowly.
I'm giving him positive reinforcement.
Wow.
Like my children.
Sort of like saying to someone at the beginning of a ski
all
run,
gonna
don't
get
choke.
cut.
And that's how they fucking backflip, break their spine, and
This is
lose
all
the
gonna
goal.
get cut. You're fine. You're amazing. And let's do the. I'll kill
I
you.
know it's going to get cut. Oh, fuck you. I'm not going to kill you and Chris
Do you see what he does?
unless Chris kills me first.
You're the best. You're amazing. I'll kill you.
You both are dead. He's just saying that right now.
You're a mixed blessing, sir.
I'm pretty sure I've killed you way before you killed me.
I'm already dead.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Or am I? Because I'm still here.
I feel like we're
Yeah.
potting
Me
with
too,
a
though.
rake.
All right. Get it together. Chris gets to cut the shit. All right, here we go. Ready, fuckers?
We're all
Go.
dead.
Situated near the Tigard Valley River and bordered by dense forests, rolling hills, and lush acres of verdant farmland. Are you going to fucking stop this?
Dude, it shouldn't be
Your
doing
Bush
anything.
League bullshit. Can you turn the volume
This
down?
is a leader.
And it
This is
wasn't
our
really
leader.
that loud, but thanks for bringing it
No,
up.
it's annoying. I can't keep doing. I
He's
can't
yelling
work
at
under these
us
fucking conditions.
with a Smurf Carhartt hat.
That's true.
I can't wait for your
Papa
phone.
Carhartt.
I can't wait for your fucking phone to ring.
Oh, construction Smurf.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm on a fucking life watch for my mom. Thanks.
I'm so really a life watch.
Well,
Really?
It's not a death watch. I mean, I'm not going to be morbid.
Christ.
It's continue to live watch.
You son of a bitch.
Why do you got to make me feel bad?
Construction Smurf.
Oh my God, it's true.
I don't.
This is low enough that it's not going to be heard, and I have to read my fucking email.
You might
okay?
get. You
have
might.
to
You
read
might
your
get
email?
I'm
construction
reading the
smurf.
story with you on my email.
I know you always do.
Yes, exactly.
I appreciate
That's what I'm
it.
doing right now.
Hey, be
Are we
pithy
ready?
with your comments, okay?
Listen, construction smurf.
You're doing great so far.
Hey there, what's going on there, ladies? Nice fucking
Oh,
tits.
that's Construction
It's me,
Smurf?
Construction Smurf. Oh.
Oh, what? Andrew Dice
There's
Smurf?
Clay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's a construction worker. Cat calling. Hey, nice dick. Cat calling people.
Why not? I mean, across the board.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
is the bisexual construction smurf that is clearly
He's
into
not.
everything and obscene about everyone.
He's not gonna just cat call him. He's a cat call guy's like nice fucking balls.
Yeah, because he's woke as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Look at
dying.
those,
Now
look at
Chris
those
is dead.
tits. Look at those tits.
Look at
Oh.
them man tits on that big
Oh.
fatty over there.
Look at that dumper. Look at that fucking
Look at
turd.
that dumper.
Look at that turd cutter. Oh
Turd
shit.
cutter?
Yeah,
Oh
turd
my
cutter.
God, more, please.
All right.
We've got a new pod.
Nice fucking dick. Yeah. Oh my
Look
god!
at that
I
fucking
can't.
sausage. Oh shit. All right.
May I continue?
Yeah, wait. Let Chris finish dying. Hold on.
Another remarkable sighting occurred a week later when an anonymous man reported seeing the thing just 30 miles away in Morganton, West Virginia. Maybe it's Morgantown. I might have gotten that wrong. If I did, let's stand.
Sorry, Morgantown or Morganton.
Did it say in one of the articles if it was Morgantown or not? Doesn't matter.
Morganton.
Morganton, West
Welcome
Virginia.
to Morganton.
Hello, children. Well, there's no fun to be had.
There's
here.
no heads.
You cannot. The creatures have no heads. Yes.
Oh my fucking!
What are we even
Leave your
talking
head
about
at
here?
the border. Morganton.
As soon as you cross the border, your head will be gone.
Wow. This is what happens when I type quick on a
Why are we
quick
doing
deadline.
this?
Morganton.
Morganton. Why are we doing this? I can't do
Because
it.
this sounds.
I can't
it
do
sounds
it.
like the
I
accent.
can't do
does.
it more.
That is. Oh, that's clearly a Morganton accent. We all know.
All right.
We're all familiar.
Hello, friends.
Ready?
Oh my God.
Hello,
Welcome
friends.
to Morganton.
Indeed.
Deposit your head at the door.
All right, hold on a second.
It will come off. Regardless.
All right, ready? And